my name is Naomi. I work as a creative associate for the Creative Schools project. I help schools by linking them with artists and giving them ideas of different creative things they can do. I also teach drama. My classes help people to become more confident and to express themselves. I've written plays for the groups that I've worked with and acted and directed in both theatre and film. 2 years ago, I had a fantastic experience of directing a production of Romeo and Juliet in a beautiful theatre in Italy, which you can see here.
Hi everyone, my name is Aisling. I'm a theatre maker and a drama facilitator, and like Naomi, I also work with the Creative Schools programme as a creative associate. I love theatre because I think the stage can be a very powerful platform for telling people's stories. I make a lot of documentary theatre, which is plays inspired by people's real lives and real experiences with a group called Talking Shop. And I also make a lot of theatre with people with disabilities with a group called Run of the Mill. Usually I would be in workshops coming up with ideas, or in a rehearsal room working with a lot of actors, or I might be in the theatre itself working with loads of other people like designers, technicians and crew to help get the show up and running. There's a lot of technical work that goes into making a play and making sure it goes all right on the night. So we have to work very hard as a team to make sure it all comes together. We use a lot of set and sound and even film in our productions. So there's lots of really important jobs in theatre that are very technical and not about performing at all. The thing that I love the most about theatre, I would say, is that it's live. So every show is a little bit different and a little bit unique, which is very nerve-wracking because you're hoping it all goes okay, but it's also what makes it very exciting. At the moment, I'm home like everybody else, so I'm working on a new play that I'm writing, but I'm excited for when the theatres reopen eventually.
So today, Aisling and I are going to show you 4 different drama exercises which you can do at home. These exercises are all based on improvisation, which means making it up on the spot. So you can do these exercises with one other person or with a couple of other people in your family.
These exercises can be a lot of fun if you're looking for something to do or if you're feeling a bit bored, and they can be good fun to play in video chats with your friends too. These exercises we're going to take you through are used in the theatre sometimes as warm-ups for actors or to help us come up with ideas for stories or short scenes. It's important to say also that Naomi and I are going to play these on the spot. Isn't that right, Naomi?
That's right.
We want to give you guys a proper demonstration, so we really don't know what we're about to say or what's going to unfold, just like in live performance.
So the first exercise we're going to do is called word association. I'm going to start by saying a word, and then Aisling is going to say a word that reminds her of the word that I said, and this continues on. So let's give it a go. Car.
Driver.
Boy.
Girl.
Friends.
Playing.
Outside.
Trees.
Green.
Grass.
Soft.
Hard.
Table.
Chair.
Sitting.
Down.
So that's word association. We're now going to move on to one word story. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say one word each at a time, but this time we're going to try and tell a story. And it really doesn't matter what you come up with, just give it a go. Once.
Upon.
A.
Time.
There.
Was.
A.
Group.
Of.
Friends.
Called.
The Get Along Gang.
They.
Loved.
Getting.
Along.
They.
Played.
Games.
Together.
Every.
Single.
Day.
One.
Day.
A.
Funny.
Incident.
Happened.
They.
All.
Fell.
Down.
A.
Full. So as you can see, that can go absolutely anywhere. So it's amazing what kind of stories you can come up with using just one word at a time.
The next exercise is going to take this a little bit further, and it's called one sentence story. So we're going to tell a story one sentence at a time, sentence by sentence. And you can start with absolutely anything. Maybe the previous games have warmed up your imagination and given you a few ideas, or else you can start from scratch. So we're just going to give it a go. One day, a group of friends were walking in the forest when they discovered a giant hole.
They were very worried as they had never seen it before and looked straight down into it.
They wondered if it could be a sinkhole.
They had heard of that before, but didn't really know what it was.
"Stand back," cried George. "Don't go too close to the sinkhole."
George was a bit of a scaredy cat and he was always afraid of things that nobody else was afraid of.
But George also knew that sinkholes had the potential to be very dangerous.
This time, George decided to be brave and he took a step forward towards the sinkhole.
As he stepped towards the hole, the ground of the forest began to give way under his feet.
He screamed, "Ah, help me! I'm falling!"
His friends watched helplessly as George fell down into the hole in the forest.
They all looked down at George, and one of them couldn't help but laughing, even though he knew it was a very bad situation.
"I've landed at the bottom," cried George. "I'm going to need one of you to find a rope."
Mary looked around and couldn't find a rope anywhere, but she did find a branch from a tree and dragged it over with all of her strength to put it down into the hole.
So you could keep going with that story and find out, does Mary manage to save George in the end? Who knows? It's amazing all the different stories that you can come up with. Very unexpected, sometimes very random in the space of a few minutes. But it definitely gets your imagination going.
Definitely. So the last exercise we're going to do is called Yes and. The main thing you need to remember with this exercise is to start each sentence saying the words yes and. And to make it a bit more interesting, Aisling is going to start by giving a kind of a prompt sentence.
So this is a conversation between two people, and in drama you're always trying to make things as interesting and dramatic as possible. So the prompt sentence I'm going to use is, "I can't believe we just ... Okay. "I can't believe we just left George by himself in that hole in the middle of the forest."
Yes, and he must be so afraid right now.
Yes, and gosh, that probably wasn't very nice of us to do that.
Yes, and maybe this will be a good learning experience for him.
Yes, I mean, he is a total scaredy cat.
Yes, and what happens if he can't get back out?
Yes, and I hadn't actually thought of that, and it is getting dark.
Yes, and maybe we should go back.
Yes, and perhaps find a rope?
Yes, and where's that branch that Mary had?
Yes, and I can see that it's starting to get a little bit dark, so maybe we'll just come back for him in the morning.
Yes, and are you being serious? We can't just leave him there in the hole.
Yes, and it was your idea in the first place that we run off on him.
Yes, and you were telling me that you're planning to go home and leave him there.
Yes, and I want to look after my own safety first.
Yes, and he's our friend. He's probably terrified.
And yes, and what happens if we all get stuck in the hole and then we'll all be in a bad situation?
Yes, and at least he won't be there by himself and we can have a great party there.
Yes, and I don't really fancy having a party in the middle of a forest in a dark hole.
Yes,
okay.
Why not? Like, it could be a good laugh.
Yes, and there you have it, a live improvised scene. You can have a lot of fun with this one, and it really doesn't matter what you come up with. It's all about just getting your imagination going.
Yes, so thank you very much for listening to us, and we really hope you have great fun at home using these drama exercises to come up with your own stories and improvisations.
And who knows, you might just manage to come up with a great idea for a short story, like I think we have just there, Naomi, or a scene for a drama. If you do, we'd love you to share your work with us. So maybe in a short video format, or you'd like to write a short story or a scene that was inspired by trying out these exercises. You can submit your work via the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.
Thanks very much. Bye.